She made Jimmy Stewart think life was great, won an Oscar, and portrayed the ideal mother on television. However, there was a startling secret life that no one was aware of behind Donna Reed's flawless smile. America believed she was baking cookies, but in reality, she was fighting the government, losing her job in Dallas, and concealing a fatal illness that would cause her to pass away at the age of 64. What happened to America's sweetheart will astound you. On January 27, 1921, Donna Reed was born on a small farm close to Denison, Iowa. She came from a hard-working Methodist family, and was the eldest of 5 children. Growing up in the midst of the Great Depression, Donna witnessed the hardships of life. She recalled seeing families leave town in search of better opportunities, packing everything into old cars. In order to survive, her own family had to sell the majority of their animals. Despite all of these difficulties, Donna was a good student. In 1938, she graduated close to the top of her high school class. She was greatly impacted by the book How to Win Friends and Influence People that one of her teachers gave her. She was soon crowned campus queen, and given the lead in a school play. Donna left Iowa for the first time that same year. Donna boarded a train with only one trunk and $60 after receiving an invitation from her Aunt Mildred to move to Los Angeles. She started classes at Los Angeles City College, where she studied stenography and lived with her aunt, who, as Donna later joked, drove her crazy and worked her to the bone. During her final year in college, the school hosted its first Campus Queen pageant. Donna won. Her shot wound up on the main page of the Los Angeles Times, and it altered everything. Hollywood talent scouts grabbed note quickly. One of them, Bill Smith, scheduled a screen test for her at MGM. Just like that, Donna changed from being a small-town kid in California to a rising Hollywood possibility. Even with studios eager to sign her, Donna didn't jump at the chance right away. She chose to finish her college semester first. It was a decision that showed her strong values and steady mindset. Her daughter would later say that Donna could have become a college professor if things had gone differently. In April 1941, she finally signed a 7-year contract with MGM, earning $75 a week, but they didn't like her real name. With World War II stirring up anti-German feelings, they decided it wouldn't work. At first, MGM considered naming her Donna Adams, but that name was already used by another actress. Then for just a few hours, she became Donna Drake, until someone pointed out there was already a Donna Drake in Hollywood. Finally, Donna Reed was created by a studio publicist. It never seemed to fit her. She acknowledged years later that when she hears the name Donna Reed, she imagines a tall, stylish, austere blonde, who isn't me. The tone is icy and intimidating. But there wasn't much time to think about her name. MGM got her to work right away. She had 7 film appearances in 1941 and 1942 alone. Her debut was The Getaway, followed soon by Shadow of the Thin Man, where she portrayed the girlfriend of a murder suspect. More jobs followed. The Bugle Sounds, The Courtship of Andy Hardy, a career boost that even took the film trailer to her home farm in Iowa. Then Moki Calling Dr. Gillespie, the Western Apache Trail and Eyes in the Night, directed by Fred Zinnemann, the same director who would later guide her to an Oscar. Behind the scenes, she wasn't as soft-spoken as her screen image suggested. From the beginning, she stood up for herself. She even went directly to MGM boss, Louis B. Mayer, to complain about her part in the Andy Hardy series. Mayer didn't take it well. As punishment, she was discreetly transferred to Paramount for a period of time. She also didn't mince words when criticizing directors, once accusing them of being so resentful that they made female characters as disagreeable as possible. Actresses were supposed to remain silent back then. No, Donna Reed didn't. When someone asked her what television had provided her, she responded with only one word: money. That type of honesty made her both admired and feared in the studio system. Still, she had a gentler side, and throughout the battle, it showed. She was a favorite among American soldiers serving abroad because of her innocent Iowa girl appearance. She responded, however, that she wasn't simply another pinup. She responded to the hundreds of letters she received from GIs who were homesick. She once received a letter from a group of troops who said, "We think you are the typical American girl, someone we'd like to come home to." she was invited to serve as the official squadron angel for another unit. These insignificant deeds had a significant impact on her reputation among the general public as well as the soldiers. It's a Wonderful Life didn't do well when it debuted on December 20, 1946, at the Globe Theatre in New York. At the time, the film lost $525,000, or roughly $8 million in today's currency. A Variety critic believed that Donna Reed's performance would make her a huge star, but the following year's box office receipts only placed the film 26th. It earned $3.3 million, compared to $11.5 million for the top-grossing film of 1947, The Best Years of Our Lives. The studio attempted to increase its chances of winning an Academy Award by releasing it ahead of schedule, but the plan was unsuccessful. It ended up competing with stronger films in 1946, instead of getting more attention in 1947. Things became more worse when, in 1947, the FBI published a report stating the film could be trying to make bankers seem bad, something they claimed was a regular approach employed by communists. That just added to the movie's early issues. At the time of filming, Donna Reed was just 25 years old. She subsequently remarked that making It's a Wonderful Life was the hardest work of her whole acting career. "No director ever asked me to do as much as Frank Capra," she once remarked. After filming was over, the stress continued because the work was so demanding. This was significant coming from Reed, who would go on to play a very different kind of role and win an Oscar in 1953 for From Here to Eternity. Despite that success though, she still considered working on Capra's movie to be her hardest task. A perfectionist he was. He forced her to feel intense emotions in almost all of the scenes. Donna Reed wasn't the only one under pressure. Jimmy Stewart had just returned from 20 combat sorties over Nazi Germany during World War II. He was a war hero, but emotionally tired. When he initially heard about the movie's subject, about a man who considers terminating his life, he wasn't intrigued. He had told friends he intended to make a comedy to brighten his melancholy after the war. In fact, he walked out of his first encounter with Capra. It took some convincing from his agent, Lew Wasserman, to get him back on board. Stewart hadn't worked in 5 years, and there weren't many offers coming in. That added to the impressiveness of his work with Reed. While filming this poignant tale, both actors were juggling personal and professional obligations. The movie may have been forgotten because of its early problems, but then something unexpected happened. In 1974, the film's copyright was not renewed because of a straightforward paperwork error. As a result, it became public domain. It was now free for any TV station to broadcast. Over the next 2 decades, it ran frequently around the holidays. People around the country watched it year after year, and soon it became a revered classic. Then, in 1993, the narrative took another twist. Republic Pictures, which now controlled the rights, sought a way to restore control. They claimed ownership of the original short tale the film was based on, The Greatest Gift, and acquired the rights to the music soundtrack. That action provided them legal right to cancel free showings and strike an exclusive agreement with NBC. What started as a commercial fiasco, and even aroused FBI scrutiny, ended up becoming one of the most adored holiday films in American history, all owing to a forgotten form, a lot of late-night TV repeats. Donna Reed was regarded as the ideal girl next door prior to From Here to Eternity. She portrayed good-hearted, morally upright ladies, such as Jimmy Stewart's lovable wife in It's a Wonderful Life. As a result, everyone was startled when she played Alma, a prostitute, even if the movie was unable to explicitly state such in 1953. In the movie, Alma, who played Lorraine, was a difficult, complex character. Donna had never portrayed a character like her before, but rather than retreating, she embraced the part completely, displaying the character's intensity as well as her intense feelings. Reed managed to make Alma likable despite her occasional coldness and cunning. Despite the fact that she was obviously wounded, she let viewers understand why Montgomery Clift's character would care for her. The film's director, Fred Zinnemann, first doubted Reed's ability to play the role. In reality, he had his eye on Julie Harris. However, Reed was cast because Harry Cohn, the chairman of Columbia Pictures, insisted on it. Zinnemann didn't put up much of a fight for her. He was so uncertain, in fact, that he made her complete 3 separate screen tests before granting her permission. However, he had a change of heart once filming began. Everyone was taken aback by Reed. She didn't go overboard. She simply became Alma. She gave a powerful, emotional, and subdued performance. She had an aura of having gone through a lot, and it worked. Her shrewd acting caught the attention of critics. She was able to display Alma's self-centeredness while maintaining her charm. It was a difficult equilibrium. Without sugarcoating the reality of Alma's identity, she allowed her to be likable. Throughout the whole movie, Reed's performance maintained a simmering intensity. There were moments when she became fixated, and even fury, but it was never excessive. Alma lies calmly about having a fiancé who perished at Pearl Harbor in the last scene, and her icy honesty makes an impression. There was silence. It was bleak. She also received an Oscar for it. Reed was overjoyed as she approached to claim her Oscar on March 25, 1954, the day Walter Brennan announced her name at the Academy Awards. She said that she didn't think she would make it, and that the trek felt lengthy. Her little speech was sincere. She expressed her gratitude to Columbia Pictures and remarked that the filming process had been amazing. Then, smiling, she said, "Eternity to here is even more wonderful." Her victory was significant. Thelma Ritter and Grace Kelly were among the serious actresses she has faced. However, its symbolic meaning was what gave it its strength. Donna Reed had escaped the confines that others had placed her in. She had demonstrated that she was more than simply the lovable nice girl. It was startling for audiences in the 1950s to witness Reed portray someone like Alma. According to one critic, her passages still stand out because of how honest and gloomy they feel. Reed wasn't faking it. She was displaying genuine emotion. Her performance also spoke to more significant topics. It illustrated the potential fate of dignity and morality in the post-World War II era. Alma was a fictional character who lived on falsehoods while attempting to make ends meet in a world that provided nothing for her. The performance stuck because of that. Playing against type wasn't limited to a single woman. It was about 2 kinds of America colliding: the damaged America she now represented and the hopeful America Reed once represented. People were unable to turn away because of this. For a Hollywood lady, Donna Reed accomplished something unusual in the late 1950s. She helped construct and operate her own television program in addition to being its star. She founded Toden Productions, a production firm named after a combination of her and her husband Tony Owen's first names. In 1958, they co-founded The Donna Reed Show. It continued for 8 seasons after becoming popular. By the time it concluded in 1966, 274 episodes were produced. Donna was the real boss. Even though her name was not listed as a producer in the credits, she chose the scripts, developed the plots, and set the show's course. However, at the time, particularly in television, it was uncommon for a woman to be acknowledged for that level of leadership. Although Donna was making the decisions behind the scenes, her husband was given the formal credit. She made sure her character, Donna Stone, was the focal point of the program during a period when the majority of family comedy, such as Father Knows Best or Leave It to Beaver, concentrated on fathers. She was the one who made the crucial choices, led her family, and found solutions to issues. It was a brave decision. Strong female characters were unpopular with television producers at the time, especially those in leadership roles. Donna didn't only contest the title of show star, she defied several societal norms. Particularly when it came to parenting, her character occasionally deviated from the typical motherly position and assumed what was perceived as a father's task. Despite the network's stringent restrictions on what could be shown, Donna managed to tackle difficult subjects. She tackled contentious topics, yet there is no explicit documentation of a confrontation with censors regarding a birth control incident in 1959, during a period when spousal abuse was seldom ever mentioned, and birth control was still illegal in many places. Donna didn't hesitate to express her opinions in real life either. She made a startling statement for the time in a 1964 interview: perhaps marriage and children weren't necessary for all women to feel content. This came from a married mother of 4 who played the role of a housewife on television. But she thought that other women may be happier if they lived their lives as they saw fit. She also didn't hesitate to mention it. Questions about women's roles were already being raised by Donna's show before the feminist movement gained traction in the late 1960s. Her persona did more than only prepare meals and tidy the house. She expressed annoyance about chores. She had aspirations of accomplishing more. In her marriage, she aimed for equality. She meets a Japanese woman who always obeys her husband in one episode, along with her friends. They converse with her, and she begins advocating for herself at the end. Although the program had some antiquated tropes, it also made a strong statement. Women have the freedom to refuse. Donna had a distinct take on feminism. Motherhood was not something she rejected. She accepted it. However, she also thought that women might be strong, self-sufficient, and still have a strong sense of familial duty. We may refer to that as mother feminism now. However, it was groundbreaking at the time. The first marriage of Donna Reed ended abruptly. She wed makeup artist William Tuttle in 1943, but they divorced after only 2 years. It was a brief period of her life that coincided with the beginning of her Hollywood career. She was making appearances in disposable movies at the time, such as The Human Comedy. At the age of 24, she remarried in June 1945, this time to Tony Owen, her agent, who was 13 years her senior. The abrupt transition between marriages suggested private difficulties that were hidden from the public. She appeared poised and was quickly becoming well known in Hollywood. However, things could have been more tricky behind the scenes. Donna created what appeared to be a more secure existence with Tony. Together, they raised 4 children over their 26-year marriage. 2 were adopted, 2 biologicals, Timothy and Marianne, as well as Penny Jane and Anthony. However, in 1971, even that marriage ended in divorce. It was difficult for both of them, according to their daughter Marianne. She felt that their relationship was strained by the age difference and Donna's rigorous work schedule, particularly during her TV show years. Family life did, however, have its high points. Their kid recalled that although Donna was a TV personality, she was just a mother at home, and that they always ate supper together. It demonstrated that she made an effort to maintain her family's closeness despite her widespread celebrity. She never lost sight of her Midwestern origins, even as her career expanded. As one might expect from someone from a small Iowa town, she remained grounded and friendly, according to many who knew her, such as actress Shelley Fabris. Growing up during the Great Depression was a topic Donna frequently spoke, and how difficult it was for her family. They were strengthened by her father's strong religious beliefs, particularly during difficult times. Every Sunday, she said, they would all cram themselves into an ancient automobile and drive to the nearby Methodist church. She felt at ease just sitting in the seat next her father. No matter how well known she became in Hollywood, she never wavered from her early principles. Actress Donna Reed gained notoriety for her portrayal of the ideal 1950s housewife on The Donna Reed Show. However, she had a transformation during the Vietnam War. She began to fear that Tony, her adoptive son, may be conscripted in 1967. She entered the realm of politics and protest because of that anxiety. Tony disagreed with the initial belief that he could play a non-fighting role. He claimed he didn't trust the military or the government, and that the war was wrong. Donna paid attention. He taught her a lot, she later claimed. At around the same time, Donna attended a birthday celebration for Barbara Avidan's small boy, who used to be her show's scriptwriter and friend. The women at the party began discussing the war. That discussion gave rise to an idea. On February 8, 1967, a few days later, 15 ladies met in Barbara's living room. They wanted to do something. They founded a group named Another Mother for Peace on that day. Donna had backed Republican Barry Goldwater for president not long ago. However, as the war deteriorated, her opinions began to change. Her perspective started to shift. Donna joined the peace group as a co-chair. It grew quickly. It soon had more than 285,000 members nationwide. They had a clear objective: put an end to war as a solution to issues. On Mother's Day in 1967, they made their first significant attempt. They requested peace in cards they gave to Congressman and President Lyndon Johnson. The concept was adored. Additionally, they adored the group's iconic message and sunflower logo: "Children and other living things are not healthy during war." 100 cards were sold out in the first batch. More than 200,000 cards had been shipped to Washington by May. Donna supported the cause by using her celebrity. She appeared on television, alongside celebrities such as Dick Van Dyke, Paul Newman, and Debbie Reynolds. She dedicated her time to the peace movement rather than returning to performing. In one of her letters to a pen friend, she expressed her decision to utilize her newfound freedom for peace. She did not, however, stop with cards and speeches. In newsletters, the organization sent peace homework, outlining future steps. They voiced their opposition to missile systems, chemical warfare, and nuclear weapons. Donna even helped campaign for Senator Eugene McCarthy in 1968. That was a major shift, especially given she had earlier favored Republican candidates, but she feared the battle had gone too far. In 1971, Donna and other leaders from the organization went to Congress. They railed against the military budget, pressing for reform at the highest level. Donna's advocacy was profoundly personal. She once remarked she hoped of a day when young men would no longer be abducted to fight in wars launched by older men. She had previously represented traditional American ideals, but now, despite the potential harm to her Hollywood career, she stood for peace. She opted to speak up, and that required bravery. After the Donna Reed show ended in 1966, Donna Reed went away from acting. She wanted to spend more time with her family, and given the show's popularity, she could afford to be choosy about what came next. The series had made her a billionaire many times over, so she didn't feel pressed to keep working. She became a co-chair of Another Mother for Peace, an organization in Beverly Hills that campaigned solidly against the war. It was an audacious approach, particularly in a field where performers were sometimes advised to keep their opinions to themselves, but Reed thought it was too crucial to keep silent. In the years that followed, she generally kept out of the spotlight. She took on only a few roles in TV movies, notably The Best Place to Be in 1979, and Deadly Lessons in 1983. Then in 1984, she briefly returned to television with a part on Dallas, over 20 years after leaving her comedy. The famous actress from Here to Eternity, and The Donna Reed Show. Donna Reed received an unexpected offer in 1984. She was invited to play Miss Ellie Ewing in the popular television series Dallas. Following heart surgery, the original actress Barbara Bel Geddes has left the program. Reed viewed this as a significant opportunity. After spending years largely out of the public eye while raising her kids and supporting political issues, she was guaranteed a high income of over $1 million over the next 2 seasons when she signed a 3-year deal. It was thrilling but challenging to join Dallas. For years the actors had collaborated, and Reed immediately felt alienated. Joyce, a close friend, claims that Reed felt the others were criticizing her right away. She nonetheless tackled the work with a strong sense of resolve. She tried her hardest to make the part her own, while yet honoring Miss Ellie's persona. She put forth a lot of effort, recording a lot of episodes for the 1984-85 season. Additionally, the producers gave her a 2-year contract extension because of how well she performed. Everything appeared to be steady. Reed even adapted her real life to fit the program, since she believed she had a safe haven there. However, things changed as she was getting settled. Reed received an unexpected call from her agent in April 1985, when she and her husband Grover were on holiday in Europe. She was sacked without notice. She was taken aback. For the first time in her lengthy career, she was abruptly fired from a position. Barbara Bel Geddes was well again and ready to go back. Therefore, the producers had made the decision to bring her back. The Dallas production team sought to bring back recognizable characters to keep the audience interested, because other key cast members were also departing the program. To exacerbate the situation, Beljedis was personally contacted by some of Reed's co-stars to persuade her to come back. The choice was made when Reed returned from her trip. She was fired after just one season, despite having a legitimate contract that should have kept her on the show for 2 more years. Reed did not remain silent. She filed a $7.5 million lawsuit against Lorimar Productions and CBS the next month, alleging breach of contract. She had done nothing wrong according to her attorneys, and her contract forbade her from being replaced just because the producers had changed their minds. They also drew attention to the absence of a play provision. She wasn't just recruited to get paid, she was hired to perform. The court rejected her attempt to halt the show's taping until her complaint was settled. She pressed on nonetheless. Reed eventually came to an agreement. Despite not appearing on the program, she would get her full salary for the next 2 seasons, and she was free to pursue other acting roles. She prevailed financially. However, the emotional harm remained with her. Mary Owen, her daughter, said that Reed had been severely upset by the entire scenario. She never quite moved on from it. By mid-1985, she began experiencing severe stomach issues. Doctors initially believed it to be ulcers. She kept the agony to herself, even during the filming. With a lawsuit looming over her, she didn't want to come seen as weak. Making that decision resulted in a prolonged delay for actual medical assistance. For her, however, concealing grief was nothing new. It was equal to the silent power she had carried since her childhood on an Iowa farm. Things deteriorated in December. She arrived to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center on the 10th. She believed it to be nothing more than bleeding ulcers. However, something even more dangerous was discovered by the physicians during operation. Pancreatic cancer in stage 4. It couldn't be operated. She was only given a few weeks to live. She continued to put her family first despite the devastating news. On Christmas Eve, she was discharged from the hospital. She kept the severity of the situation a secret from her kids. She wished to preserve their delight throughout the holidays. Later, according to her brother, she was as severely disturbed as someone could be. She didn't display it though. She remained composed as usual. She even gave her Dallas co-star Howard Keel a phone 2 days prior to her death to wish him well following heart surgery. Regarding her personal ailment, she remained silent. Her Academy Award meant a lot, but there was no grandiose last-minute Oscar plea, From Here to Eternity, for which she won Best Supporting Actress in 1953, represented something more. It was her method of demonstrating that she was more than the kind, helpful supporting characters that Hollywood frequently assigned her. She became frustrated in her final weeks. She does not like to be known just as the Donna Reed Show's TV mom. Her family subsequently gave her Oscar to her hometown of Denison, Iowa, for this reason. She was quietly stating, "See me for who I am." On January 14, 1986, she died at home in Beverly Hills. She was 64. Her family refused the studio's request for a lavish Hollywood burial, preferring something modest. As she requested, she was laid to rest in Westwood Memorial Park. She left behind more than that. Her hometown became the birthplace of the Donna Reed Foundation for the Performing Arts in 1987. It serves as a reminder that brilliance may emerge from humble beginnings by providing scholarships to aspiring artists. The community has a celebration in her honor each year. There are other mementos from It's a Wonderful Life next to her Oscar. People remember her in this way, not only as a celebrity, but also as someone who never lost sight of her roots.